All right, let's begin. So could you tell me your name, please?
My name is Aga.
Aga. Okay, Aga. And could you tell me, are you working or are you a student?
I'm working right now.
Okay.
I'm a model and actress in Korea.
And do you like your job?
I love my job. It was my dream to be an actress, model. And I started in Poland, actually modeling as a side job. But when I came to Korea, it became my major, which I love.
Nice. Is there anything you dislike about your job?
Actually, no. I love everything because the schedule is not regular. It's not like 9 to 5 job, which also I like. I cannot do this 9 to 5 job. So I like this is like in irregular schedule. And also I meet lots of people in the same field.
Great.
I really like it.
And could you tell me about some of your hobbies?
My hobbies is learning new languages, traveling, and also acting, modeling.
And could you explain a little bit more detail? You like traveling? Could you tell me why?
I like traveling. I like to discover new cultures. That's why I travel a lot. Right now I cannot really travel, but I wish to travel more. I travel like over 25 countries. And I want to travel more in the Pacific Ocean, for example, or try sailing. That would be really nice, I think.
Okay, nice. Now let's talk about your hometown. So could you describe your hometown for me?
My hometown. My hometown is pretty cute hometown. It has a castle. The architecture is pretty much same like in whole Europe. It's really similar to Prague. There's a lot of foreigners there. We have a castle, which a lot of tourists go. In front of the castle, there is a river. And there is a dragon. It's also like the legend. We have the legend of a dragon, and the dragon breathes out the fire every couple of minutes. So that's very nice tourist attraction. What else? Most of the buildings are very old. We don't like destroy them and don't build new ones to like sustain that kind of very old look, I guess.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, so yeah, we don't have many new buildings.
And do you think you will live there in the future?
No, I don't think so. I actually like living here in Korea. It's like a totally different world for me, actually. People are totally different. The culture is totally different, like the cute culture. You know, they are very welcoming, not so cold. It's very nice, heartwarming. And there's also a lot of foreigners, just like in Krakow. So it's not really so different for me. That's why I like it.
Okay. And could you tell me about the weather in your hometown?
The weather? Actually, it's similar to Korea. It gets very cold. It gets very hot in the summer, but the summer lasts for like 3-4 weeks. It's very hot, like 40 degrees even. But then suddenly it drops, and the temperature difference in the morning and during the day, it's really ridiculous. Like in the morning can be 5-10 degrees, and during the day 26. So it's very, very kind of annoying. Here it goes slowly. Like from summer it goes like to autumn, and it's like very slowly. So that's what I like about here.
Okay. And is your hometown famous for any special food?
My hometown special food. Well, I talked about pierogi before, but any special in my hometown? No, I don't think so. We don't have any special food. We have like classic food, which is in Poland. Actually, below my city, there is another city, which is called Zakopane. And there we have like kind of cheese. It's, what is this? It's baked and it's smoked cheese. It's smoked cheese, and it's very famous.
Okay.
We have it too in Krakow, but it's like from Zakopane.
I see. All right, perfect. That'll do us for part 1. Nice. All right, so for part 2 of the test, I'm going to give you this question, and I'll give you a pen. So for this question, you have 1 minute to do some note-taking, and then you have to speak about the topic for 1 to 2 minutes. Okay, so I'll give you 1 minute from now.
Okay.
All right, now, so for part 2, could you describe a famous person that you are interested in?
Okay, this is very hard question. Like I really didn't know who to decide. I picked Jim Carrey. Probably you know about he's an actor from US. So he's an inspiration for me because he followed his dreams. Doesn't matter of the hindrance he had. He was poor growing up, and I remember he was saying like he wrote a check for him for $1 million and he put it in his pocket, and he drive to the hill in his hometown to just imagine like that he already achieved what he got. So it was very inspiring to hear that story, and also he was a comedian at the first, right? So he started to be a comedian because his dad was I don't know for sure, but I think he was in a depression. He just wanted to make him laugh. So it's like very heartfelt story. And like also he had a famous quote: "If you can fail at what you don't want to do, you might as well take a chance on doing what you love," right? So this is like very inspiring. That's why I chose Jim Carrey. Yeah. And what he was like before he was famous. Well, I don't really know because we get to know them when they're famous, right? So
Sure. All right, perfect. Hello. All right, let's move on to part 3 now. So what kinds of famous people are there in your country?
in my country, well, I know actually Polish people who went to US. For example, from the TV series Supernatural. His name was, I think, Jared Padalecki, if I'm not wrong. And from Vampire Diaries, another TV show. Probably you didn't hear about it. It's a romance. So it's his name was John Wesley. So they are actually 100% Polish, but they just came to US and started acting career.
Okay. So apart from actors, are there any other professions which make people famous in your country?
Yeah, there is soccer players. Lewandowski, he's very famous. I'm sure you hear about him, right?
Of course.
So yeah, he's very famous. Also, not famous people, but famous game. Should I talk about it?
More about people.
Okay.
More about people and professions.
Okay, so there's also ski jumper. His name is Adam Małysz. He was very famous when I was a kid. Everyone was watching ski jumping. He was like the gold medalist. It was really amazing to see.
And why do you think sports people become famous?
Sports people, because they train very hard. So when they win, people just really appreciate them, admire them, because they put so much work into training, just to win, or maybe not just to win, just they want to do what they love, and this is what they do. They just train so hard, and they win, and it's like amazing.
Okay. And what's the differences between famous people these days and famous people in the past?
Social media, more exposure. I think they can have more exposure than before, and more of their private life is like out there. Everyone is reading about it. Everyone knows about it. Maybe it's not a good thing actually, but it's good also for like more people to get to know them, because social media is like globalization. It's like connects all the world. Can know anything in like 1 minute actually. So this is the difference, I think.
Yeah, right. And can celebrities have a positive influence on the public?
Well, of course, if the celebrity choose to give a show a good example, which I think they should, then they have a good influence. This is what I think celebrities should do. They just show what to do, like to give money to charities, for example, not just do some scandals, with other celebrities. This is pretty much degrading, so they should show a good example to other people to follow.
Indeed. And do you think the media give too much attention to famous people?
The media does too much attention to famous people. Actually, maybe not too much, I think too much on the media is about news and the tragic, terrible things that happen in the world. But I don't think it's so much about celebrities, actually. It is a lot, but not too much, I think. It can be more about like the good things and good examples and focus on the good things, not just about tragedies and scandals.
Okay. And do you think news stories about celebrities are always true?
News stories about the celebrities aren't always true. It could be rumors. Like you cannot actually tell unless you ask actually them and interview the celebrities. You cannot actually know. It's like rumors. This is what like people sometimes live on. They just want to gossip.
Okay. That'll do us for part 3. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So the score for this candidate we'll give is 7.0. Fluency was very strong. There were only a few instances of hesitation throughout, and the hesitation was more about thinking about the answer rather than looking for the word or searching for language-related issues. That was good. Vocabulary, there was a few good expressions here. So, you know, one natural expression that I picked out was like as a side job, you know, very natural spoken expression. There were also some fillers when she wasn't sure of what to say. She was saying like, oh, what else? My hometown, what kind of food? So it's quite natural. Instead of having just silence, she showed that she was actually thinking about content rather than the word. For pronunciation, there are some issues there. There was some like with TH. So things were pronounced maybe more like just like a T sound, things. And for example, a short A sound like happen was a little bit of her first language was coming into that. But there were no issues with really understanding. There were a couple of isolated words were not pronounced correctly. One was legend, okay, and media. So I think those were the only isolated words that were not really pronounced correctly. In terms of grammar, again, it's all very easy to understand, uses a flexible range, but mistakes were persisting throughout the interview. So small mistakes such as articles, you know, there was a lot of times where a and the weren't included in the speech. So again, the meaning is very clear, but the articles were not there. In terms of tense, sometimes, you know, for example, in the first part, I traveled to over 25 countries. That should be the present perfect tense. Like I've traveled to, I've been to over 25 countries. Some like word choice. She said below my city, probably say south of my city, north of my city. So if you're talking about location, I would go with south, north, and east, west. What else do we have? Sometimes we're not hearing the plural sound. So I was hearing he drive instead of he drives. So again, like small errors throughout. In part 3, give money to charity. Give money to charity is fine, but a better word would be donate money to charity. So overall, good test. Yeah, we'll finish up at that.